Hello, thank you for joining the Derp, an emergency broadcast of the Derp with Kurp, because today's Derp John, I got Jon Stewart, not the Daily Show one. The guy who knows about aliens. There was a congressman, Jon Stewart. Last minute, threw it together.
Yep.
Obviously in space. I don't know where your green screen is, but
Door County, Illinois.
Oh yeah,
or Wisconsin, the Cape Cod of the Midwest. For all you out there that want to not have to spend the money to go to Hyannis and take the ferry over to Martha's Vineyard in Nantucket, go to Door County.
I'll bet they make a good jerky out there. Holy crap!
Oh, John.
Yeah. So I first saw you on Redacted about the alien interrogation, and when I was watching it again, because at the time when it came out. Well, there was two. One was like black and white, and it was like a fake thing that came out at the same time, and where the alien is like talking to them. It's not.
Yeah, that came out like in the past 7 years. That is total CGI, total absolute.
Yeah.
Interesting dialogue. You know, great script, but that is when people think alien interview, and then they see my alien interview, which is like a VHS tape. They're like, "What the?"
Dude, they're assholes, and he'll get me to write their fake alien shit. I could do it so much better than that guard. They all do the same boring, like the A Wrinkle in Time. Fucking get a piece of paper and fold it, and a pencil goes through. Okay, I know, I see it. Oh, anyway, I'm getting off track here.
No, you're not.
One thing you brought up when I saw you on Redacted, that because the way I got into this was trying to figure out what the fuck the tall whites are, because that's another one, just like your thing.
Yep.
Which, I've heard of these things at different times over the years. I couldn't find anything. All of a sudden, there's all this stuff out of nowhere. What's going on? That yellow looking, I thought a puppet when I first saw it. That yellow thing, I've seen over the years 2 other pictures with the same thing.
Correct.
I went back and looked to be sure, and I know this time while we're figuring out Mark, we'll get the picture. So everybody just calm the fuck down. But it's not the same face cut and pasted. Do you understand? Like, is there like, what do they make multiple alien puppets to use at every op? I mean, maybe.
I mean, without even getting deep into the weeds, our biggest contention is, and even the skeptics even say, after 7 years of me, beating the shit out of everyone over their head and just destroying every fake debunk claim that is thrown at me, just because I can. I originally thought it was a hoax too. I'm just saying that. There wasn't the money to do this as high tech as it was, and now you have other aliens that were captured in an actual craft, like an '08 in Turkey. Another alien coming up from a guy's basement who looks exactly like mine. It's like, Occam's razor. Isn't it just maybe possible that it's a real extraterrestrial on film?
You called it something.
Call me crazy.
No, called it. What is it? Sword. What does that stand for? Remember you said the name of that thing is...
Sure. The new designation of the Greys, so said by an agent from the National Air and Space Intelligence Center, is SABER, like a sword. Synthetic, astrobiological, extraterrestrial races. It's part machine, it's part biological makeup. In our vernacular, in our lexicon, would be an android. We think that they're made this way to traverse the long extended time in space and can actually withstand space. One thing people don't tell you, Elon Musk is kind of coming out with it just this week. No one's going to Mars. No one with solid rocket fuel propulsion is going to Mars. By the time they get there, their brains are going to be like 8-year-olds, and they're going to be schizophrenic, running around Mars like Looney Tunes, because that's what deep space would do to somebody for 8 months. So no one's going to Mars, and that's why Elon has given up with this. We're going to build bases on Mars. No, the moon is your only hope. So we think that the tall Greys created these. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Created these Greys to traverse the long distance in space.
So okay, and because they're not gray, they're like yellow also, which you brought up on that show.
Yeah, there's different species of the gray species, just like there's different species of humans on Earth. We have Asian, African, Europe, Native American, so on and so forth, and it's the same thing with these grays.
Well, SABER, I've heard I've heard them called PLFs, programmed life forms.
Right.
I've heard them called something like bio something robotoids. Here's why I bring it up is those terms. There's a lot of overlap with MK Ultra terms for people that are mind controlled. Do you call them bioprogrammable human because robot just means worker. And
exactly.
The Feynman, who by the way was a pervert, like all the physicists, by the way, it's astonishing. If you go look up Schrodinger, in fact, Mark, can you get I'll text you a Schrodinger picture, dude, because it's unbelievable. The guy from Schrodinger's cat is such a creep. He had a diary of 12-year-old girls he would stalk. It was like Epstein Islanders.
Who are we talking about?
Or Schrodinger from Schrodinger's cat.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but there's all of them. But Feynman came up with the Feynman probe idea, which is what the Saber thing. Let's see. Yeah, guilty. That's Jesus. I mean, I don't have to go here. Look, I don't mean to be a psychic here, but guilty. The second you look at him. Anyway, that's all of it.
I have no recollection of that, Senator.
Yeah, right. Wait, you were Congress? You weren't Senator?
I ran for U.S. Congress, right, in 2000. Sorry. Yeah, I was not elected. I wrestled for almost everyone. I started off with Jerry Lawler, then I wrestled for Dick the Bruiser in Indiana. Okay. And my biggest stint was with the AWA on ESPN from 88 to 91.
I used to watch AWA when I lived
in North Carolina. Yeah, wrestled for the light heavyweight championship of the world as a junior in college. Pretty proud of that, I'm showing up on ESPN and the whole arena is people waiting outside, and it's me and Sergeant Slaughter on the Jumbotron. And I've got a school book from college in my book bag, and Sergeant Slaughter's quizzing me on managerial psychology exam. I mean, I've had a crazy life, believe it or not. But yeah.
Well, I think pro wrestling is like, look, it's only a matter of time before you're going to dip into UFOs if you, of course, because so I get a lot of information. It makes me laugh to think about it, but this is the truth. God, this is so fun, gay to say. So carnies,
yeah.
Renaissance fair people. Do you know there's like a rivalry between Rennies and carnies? Connects wrestling because wrestling used to be so same as faith healing. So anyway, all these people that are traveling all over the place, they pick up all kinds of info, and it's like vampires versus werewolves or something.
Totally. Totally. Yeah, the Renaissance Fair and the Carnival people. I actually pitched HBO a show following Carnival people and even spinning it off into the food at each carnival, and you now see that on TV. I didn't bother suing. I don't get it.
Carnival show because that came out on what, Showtime or HBO?
Yeah, exactly. Where they followed a girl, but it wasn't family oriented. I pitched it like, these people are crazy, they're drug addicts at times, they're runaways. This is a because every company loves something if it's tied in with family, and the more dysfunctional the better off. Yes. Yeah, I just think the carnival atmosphere is incredible, and the Renaissance Fair. My wife and I, instead of going to the movies once, in July, we go to the Renaissance Fair in Wisconsin and get a turkey leg and just sit there and people watch, and it's unbelievable.
You get a lot of probably. I bet you would get. This is me just speculating stupidly, but I bet you if you go there, get a fat turkey leg, and hang out, you'll come away with more intel about the UAP thing than you got from that Navy fucker you were trying to talk to.
Probably, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, so anyway, do you ever, by the way, walk into? I always say this, but I walk in like a flock of people wearing COVID masks still. And it's like you wandered into a Renaissance fair with normal clothes.
It's oh my God, it's so true. Yeah, I actually 2 years ago there was a Renaissance wench. She was sitting there ready to go back on duty, and I said, "Just level with me. What happens in the after-hour parties?" And she looked at me. She's like, "You don't even want to know." I'm like, "Is it like?" She's like, "It's like a swingers club." I'm like, "I knew it. That's
what everything is after. What is every after party?
Right.
Secret after party. There's only a few things you're gonna be doing, and
drugs, booze, sex,
Yeah, so those are just. I just look at it as a respected astronaut as I am. I just look at it as commodities,
right?
Because that's how they look at you, like material goods to be bought and sold. That's how when I saw you redacted this before we found out the government's run by cannibal pedophiles. That came as a bit of a shock, I think, to a lot of people. It didn't shock me as much as I thought it would, but
Yeah.
A lot of people I know are like, "Good, I don't know if that's true."
Hey, Kurp, my wife and I have been in, just because of me running for a public office, I'm not getting off track here. It's right on topic.
Good
For
for you.
20 years, I tell everybody, and nobody used to believe me. I'm like, there's more. My wife and I, through the cocktail parties, the fundraisers, the traveling on the road, my wife and I have seen more deviant sexual perversion in politicians than I ever saw on the road wrestling or in, when my wife and I were dating. I lived downtown Chicago and, hitting the bars and say, hey,
That's a heavy statement to
kitty
include wrestling.
play. A group of politicians, it'd blow your mind, the sexual perversion. I'm just speaking honestly.
Listen, to include wrestling in that's a big deal because do you think they'll release the Vince McMahon files and we'll get
I think it's possible. I think it's. I mean, we've heard enough already. I mean, my God, her text messages with him in a threesome with her, and one of the guys in the threesome used to be my tag team partner, Johnny
That's the guy?
Laurinaitis. Johnny Laurinaitis used to be a tag team partner of mine in WCW.
Oh.
I filled in as the dynamic dude of the dynamic dudes for like 13 days. And I mean, I don't want to touch anymore because I don't want to be called for evidentiary hearing. But it's her text messages alone are unbelievable. But she had a relationship with Vince for 2 years. I mean,
he didn't want to pay her. See, if he'd paid her, that cheap fuck, he wouldn't have had this problem.
Right.
And I would have to know that in a three-way, your boy Vince got up and shit on her head.
Yeah, suffocated. Like, I mean, come on.
Then he goes, I'm gonna get a shower. You guys finish up. I think we're all done here, Vince. You know.
I think we're
shower, motherfucker.
This pretty much kills the buzz.
We're going up with a name for what you just did that I've never heard of anyone doing or seen before.
Yeah. He had names of sexual toys for the name of wrestlers. I mean,
Mr. Fuji sidecar. I don't know. I'm workshopping him.
Oh my God.
I know.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Oh, my buddy Dan St. Germain was a writer for WWE, and Vince was like,
I've heard that name.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
And Vince was like, okay, assume or something, but then Vince popped up in the Epstein files, like procuring the girl that Dan had casually mentioned on a podcast. So I think that's all done.
Vince. Vince was, in his words, abused by his stepfather, and he didn't have a good relationship with his dad until he got into the business with his dad, which his dad didn't really want him to. And I think Vince has had a lot of, personal demons, like we all do, that have just never been addressed. Actually, they have been they've proliferated with excessive amount of power and unlimited money and the craziness of the wrestling business. I again, not getting off the topic, but you don't understand what it was like I had no rules applied to me.
Right.
And that's familiar with an athlete. I've been an athlete my whole life, but I had no rules. I could do whatever I want.
In a union, there's one rule.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, Vince had no rules, unlimited money, unlimited power, and an ego unchecked. That's a recipe for disaster. And you can see where it led him into some very weird sexually compromising positions and power and control. And it's thick. It's thick and
He's the low end, by the way, everyone. What's in there is somebody who's not in the tippity toppity top. The top, it's so much worse.
Yeah.
And I can't remember when I first I got Kathy O'Brien's book, I guess, because I always think I got a little handle on how bad it is, but I don't. And then
Kathy O'Brien, I've heard her testimony. It's incredible.
Okay, so that's I'll tell you something creepy too. I was in it was a good show. I was in Eugene, Oregon. I actually had a good time there, but I get my lift to the airport. The lady's got like a Mennonite bonnet or something on, I think. And I was listening to that book all weekend, so I was in a shit mood. So, and I'm like, she's driving a minivan though, so I'm like, she can't be that Amish. But I'm like, I'm not even gonna ask her about what level Amish. I don't give a. In my head, I'm thinking that. Okay. So I'm
what level Amish? Like she's like it's Amway, multi-level marketing.
You got a bonnet on if you're in a van. I bet everybody has her, and I don't give a fuck anyway. I just found out what George H.W. Bush definitely ate babies. Okay, so and she starts chatting with me. And she's a foster mom. She says, okay.
Oh wow. Okay.
So then I'm like, I just got done reading this book, so I want to dump what I just learned on someone viciously because I'm upset. And
Yeah.
I go, that's good. You're a foster mom, because I had no idea the way it works, and there's no oversight. There's just no husband. And, if you take care of them, kids, great, because a lot of people are selling them. They're doing horrific. I figure she's religious, so she understands SRA, right? So I say all that to her. And I'm actually saying it like half when I think about it, like pissy, because I'm like, you're either somebody not doing that or somebody who is. So I kept like, good, you don't do that. And she's just trying to say, well, folks got to make a buck. Dude, I'm haunted by that to this fucking day.
Yeah.
It was such a bizarre thing from what looked like an Amish bitch driving a minivan. It creeped the shit out of me, actually. Anyway.
Yeah, people have to come to a realization that I don't think this is even arguable, that we're still not that far removed, even though we have our lattes in the morning and we have clean houses and clean water, and we really don't have to kill each other for survival or something to eat. Some of us have the most ridiculously meaningless jobs, and some of us make ridiculous amount of money for little things, but we're still not that far removed from the Middle Ages, where depravity and immorality and the carelessness of life knew no bounds. I think it's kind of traumatizing for people to realize that at some point our society still carries a lot of those remnants from just horrible moments in our world history. And I don't mean to get off all preachy or anything, but I think I'm right on the money there.
99%, but I'll just say this for Middle Ages. Their scientific knowledge then, they actually knew if women had a pee-pee or a wee-wee. That that lost scientific knowledge of if women have dicks or not.
Okay.
Yeah, no, nobody knows. Watch. I mean, now maybe.
Yeah.
Now maybe Trump, since he's not doing what he's supposed to do with anything else, I guess you now could look into it. But I watched I watched Ketanji Brown go, hey, are women? I watched his nonsense argument, okay, for how many years, dude? The last I remember, North Korea was about to get nukes, and it was going to be really bad, right? And then they did get them. And then I can't remember anything else about it. And when I came to, everyone was arguing if women have cocks or not.
Yeah.
So something's going on to me where that's a high indicator that whatever.
Well, this show certainly took a deep turn.
But it's all because, first of all,
I know what you're saying. Yeah, it's.
Wait, we don't know this scientifically now, but we do know that the Monroe Institute, you could astral project, and that's cool. And here we're releasing the file. Do it at home.
Yeah.
And do these protocols to make these things come down.
Right.
All of a sudden. And people just seamlessly transition to that, and people do it and shit, and it starts to all sound like one thing, and you could see them dog walking you now too. They're not extraterrestrial; they're extra dimensional. They're already taking us all the way back around to where it's going to be fairies and shit.
Yeah,
they've already done it. Right. So I might to stitch this back up to the beginning that we got way off on a tangent about. You think that thing's a homunculus, the saber, because I know we can make stuff like that. You remember Cambrian genomics from 2014?
No, but Stephen Greer claims that they're putting these things out like on a conveyor belt. They're making so many of these, manufactured gray beans.
I never heard no dog man. All of a sudden, dog man's everywhere. Where'd that come from?
Right.
In 2014, a guy, and go to Andy Hunt, Control All History channel, because I'd forgotten about this. Because this was a feminist controversy when it came out about all the tech bros, and I wasn't paying attention like that then. Okay, so the guy had a company where you're going to make your own life forms with gene editing, and then they'd 3D print your life form you made. And he'll go, everything he'd say was, we want to make everything artificial.
Right.
Nobody was like, what? Why? That's just a foregone conclusion. That's a great idea to do that for all of them.
Right.
So then he puts out that we also have a thing that women could take to make their pussy smell like something good instead of pussy. So that's what outraged the Jezebel set, who were like, no, you don't need to baby. Meanwhile, he stole. Apparently, some chick invented this, not for pussy smells, for something else. And he took it, and he's the marketing guy, so he put it out there as that. But the disturbing thing was letting you make a Godzilla. Like, and literally, he's saying shit like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, the poor guy committed slip and slide, wouldn't you know it? And we never heard about this tech ever again since then.
What was the guy's name again?
I can't remember, but Cambrian genomics.
Cambrian genomics.
And like so many other tech things that were like cloning, we've been about to be, guys, are you ready for the world of cloning? That's 1970. That's Boys from Brazil time. Remember?
Yep.
We might, and it's not that we can't clone. I thought it was we didn't know how to do it. I don't know why I thought that. It's because here's why we don't do it, because it's not ethical, John.
Yeah.
So guess what?
Wink. But it is ethical to, kill 100,000 people or go into Iraq in a fake war and 300,000 Iraqi civilians died. Yes. That's ethical. That's quite all right.
If they killed
cloning my cat, oh dear God, how dare you?
if Hillary would starve 500,000 Iraqi kids, as far as she knows, you think she ain't gonna eat one kid's face at a party? What does everybody think? You ever see Madeleine Albright on Jimmy Dore show? I gotta be disturbed every other goddamn day by the news, and it's all. And the most disturbing thing is like how much I never thought of none of it, and then trying to explain it to somebody, because the things I believe are crazy, dude. But I never even get to it, because basic land news, people will think you're a conspiracy. If you just tell them about Haiti, what's true about that, they think you're talking conspiracy, like normal shit. So I never get to the crazy shit, I think.
Yeah, Alec Jones talking about a evil billionaire living on a Caribbean island abducting women, and the hierarchy, the top echelon of the world goes there. We all looked at him like he was batshit crazy. It's the fact that it's not even telling the whole truth, that it's even worse than that. I mean, it's believe it or not, there's an ontological shock with the world. I think right now it's kind of like, we're human beings. If it's not real to us immediately, we forget about it, which is why somebody smokes for 30 years. I don't have cancer. I don't see myself getting cancer. So they keep doing something because it's not real. And right now, the whole Epstein, the whole world pedophilia situation is not that real. But it will be when you start seeing people going off in handcuffs, and I think it's gonna get really ugly.
I don't see any justice coming, because they control both sides. The white and black square bullshit. And I hate having to learn about this stupid, like, secret handshake, fucking magical bullshit. I hate it so much, John.
Yeah.
And all of them, the thing that shot me the most looking into the tall whites was that it crosses over through the Anunnaki angle into hardcore child abusing, like, what is the one Jay Parker's from? It's Arden, Delaware, the Church of the Marquis of Hell. That's the cult this poor fucker grew up in. And deeply into Anunnaki and UFOs. In fact, then when you go into the original guys who wrote is it Sitchin? Zachariah Sitchin. He's
Chariots of the Gods. Yeah.
Or Chariots, I think it's Von Daniken, but Sitchin is same thing.
Sitchin is the I forget what he wrote.
He's sponsored by Rockefeller. That's how he could afford to go. So you can see these controlled, like, QAnon drops of information.
Yes.
There's truth in it. There's got to mix it with shit. And then I'm starting to think, when I hear Blue Beam, this is what I'm going to run by you, because Blue Beam, where they're going to fake
the alien invasion. Yeah.
Well, a spiritual event that could be an alien invasion.
That could be an alien invasion,
I think that's what climate change was. I think when you're talking about Elon, we're not going to Mars no more. I think there's been a push to be like, we're probably aliens that don't even belong here because you were bad on the Earth. And we probably came from Mars or something. And we're not even.
Of course we did. We're the only mammal that needs to make clothing to survive.
So you're an alien.
Our backs are all fucked up because we're not supposed to be in this gravity. I mean, folks, get with it. If we evolved from apes, why are apes still on the planet? Well, if animals evolve, how come giraffes aren't making cars right now? I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
First of all, I don't know the giraffes are not making cars. I'm joking. Okay, so the point is, the idea.
You can't make me laugh when I do Jack Tripper, Three's Company spit takes. You can't make me laugh.
That is a very good steel manning of the theory of evolution, by the way.
Can I just say one thing when you're talking about the Anunnaki and sacrifice? I without a doubt now totally understand why the Mayans sacrificed people on the altar. Why would you do that? If you're in a survival mode, you need as many people as you can in your village. Why are you killing, sacrificing people? Why the other culture that threw gold into the river because they saw, their god descend into the lake? These were cultures that were mixing with aliens and technology that was not understood, and they were doing anything they thought of to bring back the extraterrestrials. So and now hearing that the sacrifices are still going on, and there's bits and pieces of information of that are people are saying, former abductees or sexual slaves of this group, saying that no, they've got some crazy notion that sacrificing humans and eating them is part of this satanic ritual. That's also, they think they're in touch with aliens. And I went, oh, now this all makes sense. Now world history, I'm serious.
It
Now
does.
world history makes sense why the Aztecs killed and cut out your heart, and because they saw aliens or they were told by the aliens, this is what we want. This is what we want you to do. Yeah,
Guess
it makes sense.
It's a plumed serpent. America's named
Yeah.
after Amaru from Peru. By the way, new popes from Peru. They traffic a lot of kids out of Peru up through Mexico, by the way, because of that. And Amerigo Vespucci changed his name. It's not named after the working man explorer. That doesn't happen. It's named after Amaru. Amaruca, that's where we live. And that's the principality above America. And possibly, the stupid Mormon thing, Moroni, that possibly is a being. And you know how the good guy aliens all look like fucking Mormons? Right? They're all blonde Mormies. Why? There's a chick. I'm blanking on her name, but I probably shouldn't say anyway. But when I would go to Vegas and comics, Mormon chick who was cool as shit, man. By the way, when I say beautiful, I mean like not from this fucking planet, dude.
Right.
And she had 5 kids, she told me. And I'm like, what the? And I think she was older than me at the time. And I'm just like, what? Oh, you never drank coffee or smoked a cigarette in your life? That's what this is. But maybe she's a fucking alien too. I don't fucking know, because the good guy aliens are all Caucasian Aryan types. White and winsome, they would say.
Which is racist almost to some degree, some kind of cosmic racism.
In the other planet. You don't usually, if things evolve on a planet, they evolve, they look different and shit. So you tell me you got a planet of just white blonde people somewhere. That don't make no sense. Now, Jazz Jabroni, who came on my show, Jason Giorgiani, excuse me, he I agree. I think he's onto something about a 5D civilization, which is because by virtue of just traveling those distances, you got a time machine. Just if you're going fast, you're not really going faster than light. You kind of have a time machine. It's just
you've got to warp time. You've got to warp space and time at some point. You've got to fold in from another reality, which is or dimension. That's just what I think how it happens. But yeah, you're not going over the speed of light. Thank you for saying that. Totally agree.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm sure there's ways around everything, and somebody found it. I'm not sold. Now, Stephen Greer says they're RETs, but none of them, and he, believe it or not, for being a Baha'i, probably Mossad agent, a lot of things he's saying I think are true. And not Mossad, he's in the Rockefeller group. The Rockefellers are the worst people that ever fucking lived, okay? Aside from the Gettys and the other. But the Rockefellers specifically, that's why he got the Fed and all that. All that shit. So that's who's protecting Greer. I couldn't understand why he would be briefing Bill Clinton on anything. Were you an emergency room doctor from Raleigh? Oh, because he was appointed by that quiet Rockefeller. Did you watch the Epstein interview with Bannon?
I caught bits of it,
Okay, first 4 minutes, all you need to know the deal. Epstein goes, like Woody Allen, he talks. When I was 30, David Rockefeller and what's his name? Henry Kissinger, two of the biggest satanic pieces of shit that ever cursed the earth. They appointed him to the Trilateral Commission at age 30. Now, if you watch the rest of the interview, you'll see very quickly he's a midwit. He's a glib. He's saying things that sound smart to people that are not smarter than me.
Right.
That's what he's saying. So why the fuck would he at age 30? This is like a 65-year-old man I'm not impressed with intellectually on any level. 30 years old, he's sitting on the Trilateral. Just to remember, for everybody who doesn't know, the Trilateral Commission, very important people. They're the ones that installed the Ayatollah over the Shah. In case everybody's wondering, because they thought they could get an even better deal stealing oil. That Carter wasn't no good man. So anyway, that's who appointed Epstein. So right there, and I knew when Epstein, I go, if he's dead, he was Mossad. If he's alive, Mossad worked for him. And that's what it is, because he's the spokesman of the Rothschild family, it says in the emails, and that explains why he'd be a third. Think of what it, dude, when I was 30, can you imagine, like, look what a jerk off I am now, dude. And I'm not, I'm not even close to what a degenerate Epstein was. I'm smarter than him. But they get me at 30, I'm going to sit with world leaders and fucking go over this shit. Like, he's the mouth of Sauron for the Rothschilds. That's what
correct.
The real people don't show up. Their fucking reps show up. And their reps, more than likely, have been ritually programmed. So the missing piece to me of the alien shit is Men in Black, when they make you forget, they hit you with the blinky light, right?
Sure.
Which I think is probably just a light. I think you could do it with just a light. There's nothing more special than you blink a light in someone's eyes and say something a lot. but that's the missing piece, the MK Monarch thing. Because if you're hiding ET shit, people, and I've been told this already by friends of mine, people volunteer to undergo conditioning to never remember what they did.
Right. Yeah, I think that this is clearly my only opinion, and it's not based on anything other than my belief. I believe that because some reading some of those emails that I have, that one of Epstein's duties was to see who had this technology gained from extraterrestrials. I totally believe that in my heart. Well, and to give it to Mossad, or there's because the CIA and the Mossad, however you feel about them, they're going to want to know if any of this alien technology has seeped out, leaked out, who might have it. And that's all they're worried about. I've said this on numerous podcasts. The only thing the East Coast 3-letter intel agencies are worried about is, does anybody have this technology hiding it from us, whether technology we know, or do they have new technology that we'd like to know and they're hiding it from us? That's all they care about. They don't care about species and Jon Stewart and abductions. They don't care. It's about technology. And I really think Jeffrey Epstein was part of that whole apparatus to find out, slip through the cracks, subvert these people, compromise these people, and I'll destroy the tape. Tell me about that technology we're talking about. I really believe that,
dude. I'm like that guy clearly, because they're down there in the Bahamas now. That hot zone. If you watch Dark Journalist, shout out to Dark Journalist, fucking great work he does. And there's a bizarre pedigree of famous people looking for Spanish galleons around Cuba, but that ain't what they're looking for. That's where those pyramid ruins are. That were in National Geographic.
Sure, they're looking for the tip of Atlantis, the western tip of Atlantis.
But the names are hilarious, dude. Colonel Sanders' daughter was one, with Jacques Cousteau's daughter. When Ghislaine Maxwell got arrested, she said, "I'm a citizen of Terramar," which means Earthsea.
Yeah,
like she's like the queen of the sea or something. They're all obsessed. Now, I hate Atlantis. I've always hated it. Never fucking thought it was anything that didn't suck. But all these people are upset. All these people are obsessed with it, and they all think they came from there. And it's their alternate story to other mythologies. Like I had Gary Wayne on just before the episode before last, and I love that guy. That guy is like absolutely Christian, but he does syncretism and he reads everything and he compares them, because once you start, that's why I don't get hung up on no alien or calling anything shit. I don't think we know what anything is. I just look for a theme, right?
Right.
Like, what theme keeps popping up?
Right.
Give them blood. They always want blood. Never enough blood for these things.
Blood, gold, technology.
Yeah, right. And so as soon as you start looking at it that way, it's a whole, and then you start to see what it is, that there's a bunch of corporate ass. And Gary Wayne's one that says feudalism is what we had, the 4-class system. We got the priests, kings, artisans, and
right.
And it's the same. I don't care if you say you're communist or whatever. It always ends up, you're going to have a secret royalty if you don't have royalty. You're always going to have that, because these people are being taught they're a separate
Could not agree more.
Well, they wrote it down, dude. That's what the Mason thing is. The sons of Cain.
Well, there's no more. Well, what is the power in today's society? It's money, but it's always been money. So what is the power? It's what is the last horizon or the last frontier to be, if you want to, rule the world, so to speak. Just bear with me here. It's got to be technology, right. Time travel, interstellar travel, cloning, immortality, anything to do with this technology. That's the new, like a king in 1200 AD taking the other fiefdom and the other kingdom. I mean, it's the fight over technology.
How about the fight?
That's it.
It's in the Bible when I can't remember which is the Israel's king that loses to the worshippers of Chemosh, but the king of whoever they're fighting sacrifices his firstborn son to Chemosh at the last minute and then wins the battle because he gave up some kind of blood.
Right.
But look, even the story that I don't believe about Eisenhower signed a contract with aliens, I don't believe that's a thing, that aliens, I mean, it just makes, they're going to take what they want to take no matter what. Why would they bother to meet with them? It doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
It's like old writing. Right. So, but it's the same deal. I will sacrifice my people to you. I'll throw some virgins in the volcano because, if you, Whitley Strieber talks about those bone yellow aliens a lot, right?
Yes.
And what are they, intergalactic sex tourists? That's how it comes off to me. He said they can't feel novelty. They crave novelty because, and he goes, what's the universe to you? And they showed a mental image of a coffin in his head. So he said they're almost addicted to us. This is how he describes it.
Well, I mean, my God, if what we have been told is true, and it makes sense that most extraterrestrial civilizations have weeded out the behavior of human beings, of war and jealousy and emotion, if they've taken all of that out of the system, so to speak, and it's a beehive mentality, and everything is gray and everything is bone colored, and you wake up and you go to the factory, or it's got this beehive mentality, and all of a sudden you find out Earth is somewhere in the galaxy that you could go to, the freak show of the Milky Way. I mean, I'm not even joking here. So, if I'm a gray alien in this beehive mentality, Zeta Reticuli number 2, I'm going to Earth. I'm going to the freak show. I mean, we kill each other over a $10 toaster on Black Friday. Are you kidding me?
Look. All that,
and I'm not joking about what I just said. I firmly believe we are the crazy. We are the carnival, crazy show of the universe.
It's a place for. I'm not so sure they're non-human. I think there's just intelligence, and then the casing is kind of a meaningless designation.
There you go. I agree.
I think they're us from the future, because look, if you're outside time, that means nothing being in the future. They could be us from the past. Right now means nothing. So everything
could be from a parallel dimension, which means they're living right alongside us as far as time goes. So yeah, I agree.
Transhumans who can't transition back in the same way. Detransitioning is very damaging for psychopaths who transition to child.
Sure,
it's permanent damage from the bodybuilder. You're in wrestling. These things have been experimented with by bodybuilders and wrestlers, and they started giving them to kids. All those hormones. How many dudes that were on like trenbolone or something, and they got the emotions of a woman, even though they're jacked?
Oh yeah. Not just the emotions of a woman, just we were like, and I took steroids too. We were all like going through menopause. We, scream, holler, cry. You're dust, you have depression. You're in your hotel room at night, and some people become sex addicts or alcoholics, and you're mad at each other, and you have no idea what hormones do to human beings. I've seen it because I was part of the traveling freak show called Pro Wrestling in the Territory days. And yeah, it was like being with steroid freaked 40, 50-year-old menopausal men. I'm serious.
Spam. They're yelling.
Yeah.
No, I always say the latter. People think I'm like, because stand-up comedy, by the way, one of the lowest. It's below. Now, I would say it's above pro wrestling only in that, even though the same a lot of mental damage, you're not your body. I've done benefits for Iron Sheik's knees like 3 years in a row. I was like, did we just do this? Because these dudes are beat the hell up,
Terrible.
So, and a lot of comics are beat the hell up, but they didn't have to actually they just did it to their liver mostly,
Right.
Or in Bobby Slayton's case, guy gets a lot of.
I have a great Iron Sheik story, by the way, but go ahead.
Tell me that, please.
I only told this once, and I told it like 4 years ago. This is the absolute true story. No one's ever going to believe it. This happened. Believe me, it happened. It's like 1984. I might get some town wrong, so bear with me. It's Newark. It's 1983, 84. The Iron Sheik comes into the locker room. He's all distressed, and Johnny Valiant is in there. And Johnny Valiant talks like this: "Hey, Sheiky, baby, what's wrong, baby?" You know, he's like a Vegas, he's like a Las Vegas, lounge singer.
Mm-hmm.
And Sheik sits down and he's like, "Oh," and I'm going to imitate Cosgrove. "Oh, Johnny, they stole my car." And Johnny Valiant goes, "Jesus, Sheiky, don't worry, we'll call the police." And how did the car get stolen? At the airport, at your house? No, when we leave 3 weeks ago, because they left from Newark, they end up back at Newark. The 3-week tour is over. When we leave for New York, I go into gas station at the airport. I throw Jabroni the keys at the gas station. I say, "Fix the Sheiky's car. Fix the Sheiky's car." And Johnny Valiant's like, "Okay." And he goes, Nikolai Volkov, he gave me a ride to the gas station. And I said, "Where's my car?" It was a Chrysler Fifth Avenue. And they said, "What car? What are you talking about?" And she goes, "You jabroni. I throw my keys to jabroni to fix the car." And the guy goes, "I'm the owner. This is my son, the manager. We have no other employees." He threw his keys to some ne'er-do-well that was pumping his gas, or his buddy was pumping the gas, gets in Nikolai's car and leaves. And the kid's like, "I got a free car," and took off with Sheik's car and never found it. I mean, you can't fucking make that up. I mean,
yeah, it's very
and no one in wrestling ever talks about that, but I was told that by Johnny Valiant, and it's just the craziness of the wrestling business.
Very, 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 very believable story, I must tell you. When I did the roast, so I did Virgil, I did a roast, and I came up.
Oh my God, Lonely Virgil at the Comic-Cons.
Yeah, and
when he had nobody in line buying his.
I don't know what I said as a joke, but I called it Virgiling for someone. It was something like insulting. But he got up and shot me. He did it like a wrestling. But I mean, it was pretty cool. Like, it was just very loud. It didn't even hurt. It was just like
he probably cupped his hand. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. And Roddy Piper did that to me with a chair at South Jersey. Me, Big J, Nate Bargatze. Now, this is when Bargatze was not sober yet, and we ended up all gacked out with the guy from the Lost Boys that dies the vampire dies in the bathtub. He goes, "You killed Ringo," or Johnny.
Okay.
That dude who wrote a book about being a Lost Boys and goes to horror conventions. And so anyway, he wanted me to break. Roddy wanted me to break. I was hosting, so he's like, he wanted to go on, but he wanted me to like ask him to come on, and he goes like, no, right. Which now I would really play into what he wants, but at the time I was like, "I don't do all that. Let me just bring you up." But now I would really have a lot more fun with it than I did.
Yeah, right.
So I do it, and then he goes up, and then he's like, he was like telling you like tall tales. I don't know what the fuck he was doing. He goes,
"Stream of consciousness," Roddy Piper. Yeah.
He goes, "What is it? Kodiak Bear with a bottle of Dak whatever." So then he gets up, and I go, "Roddy Piper, everybody. He came to chew bubble gum and tell jokes, and he was all out of jokes." And he ran up the stage and hit me with a chair. Also, didn't hurt me at all.
Right.
It was like awesome, dude. It was actually like he did like a cool fucking.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's our job.
Well, it turns out that in politics, their job is to be way more of a fake.
Oh, fuck.
Right?
Politics is pro wrestling you wear suits and ties.
With real blood and well, I mean, ECW had a lot of real blood. I used to go to ECW in Philly. You ever go, ECW with Sabu and.
Yeah, so, Paulie wanted me to wrestle for him, and some of my friends in Chicago were like, "That ain't the Johnny Stewart territory you want to go to. They have barbed wire matches." And I just got back from Wings in Japan, where they had, baseball bat matches with barbed wire against Michael, Jason, the Terrible, and Mr. Pogo. And I'm like, "Paul, maybe next time."
Did you know the 1-2-3 Kid?
Oh my God! I helped break him into Minnesota. I'm not lying. He was first match was a run-in where we let him go over the barricade and run in and save one of the wrestlers. It was with Dale Gandhi, who was the promoter, and he still hates me for getting him in the business. No, actually, I texted him about a year ago. I'm like, Do you still hate me and Dale for letting you get in the wrestling business? He's like, no, it was the greatest thing ever. He's a good kid. He's a good kid.
I like that dude. I only hung out.
Sean's a good kid.
When my old
kid, he's 45, I think now.
Yeah, he came on my old podcast in New York and was telling us stories.
Yeah.
He was I really liked him a lot, man. But he was telling us about, I remember the name of the episode. It was old Race Wars, me and Sherrod Small. And it's called Rainbow Stew, because he explained they would go to him after the match, all these giants. He would, the kid, go get so I'm 6'4", so he's like my height. I guess he's little looking compared, you know. And he go, kid, go get the stew. And then it was just whatever pills fans could put in his hands, they just took all of them.
Yeah. The
Like
stew. I never heard that, but that's funny. Yeah, just give me a mixture. What do you got? Well, that's why wrestlers love strippers, because they always had an apartment and free drugs, you know.
Yeah, well, that's
and crazy sex. What's not to like?
I didn't understand this when I was a churchy kid, because they'd always equate drugs to some sort of witchcraft, which I thought was a bit histrionic. But I know why they're saying that now, because it turns out people have a handler. You always see someone with a handler giving them drugs. When you see these famous train wrecks like Britney Spears or Kanye.
That's not going to end good, by the way. Have you seen her videos of her dancing like a...
Yeah, dude. Well, I didn't know the deal with her.
That is not going to end good.
Have you seen we played on Jimmy Dore show, the old clips? It's from VH1, The Secret Child Britney Spears. And it's her as a 10-year-old, dude. And she ain't dressed up in any Daisy Duke. She's got a big giant bow on.
What, from like when she was with the Disney, the Mickey Mouse Club or something?
With Ed McMahon.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay. Now, I know I saw this when it first aired. I know I did on VH1. But I don't know. It must have not registered at all to me, that anything. But I would be very young. It was like 92. But anyway, they're all like, she had this oozing sexuality. And it was like she changed from a girl to being sexual and sex. And she was so set. And I'm like, first of all, there's nothing. And then they'd slow motion her dance. The Jimmy Dore show, the clip, we're watching it. And I've seen it before, but I just had never looked at it again for a long time, I guess.
And it was sexual?
Nothing she's doing sexual. The narrator,
I see.
Supposed therapist,
right?
Guys that are journalists that you ain't never heard of.
Yeah,
they're all talking about how this 10-year-old girl was kind of a whore already. That's how they're talking.
Yeah.
It goes to her dad. Now, this is what's funny, because I went back and watched the whole episode because I couldn't believe it. They make the dad out like he's a white trash loser that lost the family business, and he's like Kevin Federline, not even as good as Kevin Federline.
Right.
Meanwhile, years later, her dad's is given a conservatorship over everything.
Right.
She's an MK Monarch asset. All these pop stars, that's who they do it to. That's why Kanye. You think
they all go crazy at some point. You can't deny this.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a process that you can trace from Disney to now.
Yeah,
with all of them.
They all go. Justin Bieber. They all go off the rails. And I mean, come on, it's undeniable. It's spooky, actually.
That's why I'm saying, like, and I don't know, but those things, the saber things, you know, that closely resembles a homunculus in occult lore. I mean, very closely resembles a homunculus. And it would explain needing to kidnap cow vaginas to birth your homunculus. Well, you know, the occult thing is to have babies without women. Because that's why it's always so gay, because because it's like Orpheus. I would read
that would definitely have to be, if you're eliminating all of the negativity of Homo sapiens sapien, you know, having sex, mating, childbirth, you know, child intercourse, coitus. Yeah, you're gonna want to be a culture that has, you know, artificial insemination or test tube babies. You're gonna want to completely eliminate hooking up, sex, meeting, marriage, everything.
Autism,
in my opinion,
autism. Look at the explosion of autism of people that are good.
It's unbelievable.
They're weird and childlike about. You could program them to be whatever gender you want. They're good with tech. They stay in their lane.
Yeah,
like I'm one of these guys that you call a schizo, because I'm like looking at everything. You're not supposed to do that. So stay in your lane and be focused on that, and then be actually smug when anything outside your lane comes in. Then they don't drive. Only 30% of them drive a car.
No, they don't drive.
Isn't that amazing? So that sounds like someone's. Now you take them kids that they've been making, I think, and you skip them ahead of a bunch of generations. How long does it take to get a bone yellow saber thing? That's
not long. I agree. And if you put them underground, they're going to get large eyes. They're going to have, you know, pigment in their skin to change, and it's not a stretch. I agree. I agree with you. It's not a stretch.
We made that tech, right? Let's say just a kind of funny theory that the Nazis, something worked that they did. and I used to poo-poo the Maria Orsic thing, but now that I know how deeply wizardy this shit is, I don't.
Right.
So if you are traveling at faster than light or whatever, that means you can go. You could be. Remember that Hitler camp where they in Germany where they bred Ubermenschen, blonde hair, blue eyes. You know,
the Hitler Youth. Yeah.
So if you loaded them up in, say, a special plasma-operated Nazi Bell and shot them to Aldebaran or whatever the fuck, so 50 million light years or so. So now they're 50 million years older than us when you look up at that star that they're at. So now they're the past. And I've heard people say shit about some of these fuckers have sent their DNA back to try to say they made all mankind and we're in their image. What I think is...
That's interesting.
Yep. And that's because
if only that, it was worth coming on this show. That is really interesting.
I think they ran it a bunch, dude.
Somebody's sending their DNA back in time so they could be the architect of the world, of the Earth.
Mm-hmm. And then I think it's not going how they want, and they keep rerunning it. Whoever has that
next week, I'm in a pitch meeting in Hollywood. Okay, here's the story. You're in the movie theater 2 years from that motherfucker. He stole it from me. No, that is a really interesting premise. Taking your DNA back in time, being the progenitor of human Homo sapiens sapien on Earth. So you're God. Interesting.
Because that's the goal of these tech people is like, so my friend,
no doubt about it.
Yeah, my friend, talented comic, very funny guy, and really good writer too. But he lives in Colorado, and I go, he goes, yeah, no, I know a lot of Satanists. They're like, a lot of them are really cool, and I'm like, are they? Sam's very good, and, by the way, very talented. I'm like, well, he goes, they don't worship Satan. It's just about like you can be your own God. I'm like, oh yeah, that's what the world. That sounds great when you put it like that, Sam. That's what we don't have enough of. People that think they are God. Right. If only we had more of that, it'd be the world would get better. What are you talking about? And I know what he means because a lot of people go, if you don't have any belief system of any kind like that, you're like, oh, it's just some showmanship.
Yeah.
But I'm doing an occult thing, dude. This is what Crowley would do. He has all these writings that I smugly dismiss because he's like, oh, I was invisible because I walked around in Morocco with a purple turban and cape on and no one would look at me. And I'm like, well, I think I know why, Alistair, they wouldn't look at you. But then I understand the genius of it. The whole goal is you look over here. I want you looking over there. I want you looking,
okay.
I want you right here. So you just draw the eye of a human, and that's the whole, that's 99% of magical shit. The thing is, once you get enough of us together doing that and focus us, you could change fucking reality. Apparently, that's what they teach, and I think it's because they do it.
I mean, I don't know if you think like me. I just have a feeling inside of me. I like being a nice guy. Yeah. I like being a good person. I just want to watch TV and YouTube and take my wife to the Caribbean twice a year and go up to our summer home and fish and play some golf. And I don't know where I'm going with this, but it's like I don't have any feelings of ruling the world and sacrificing kids and Satanism and want to live forever. I don't want to live forever. I mean, I don't know. I just think there's more people like me than there are that want to eat kids and create immortality. And am I right? I don't know if I'm making sense or not.
Right. It's very clear because everyone voted for no more stupid. We didn't vote to kidnap Greenland on fake coke charges. Nobody voted for that. Okay.
No.
Most of the people, and I told this to Joe on one of the last time his podcast.
It's a huge. Greenland's beautiful. We've got this big, beautiful bill.
That came out of fucking no. So that's out of some oligarch's brain that beyond my ken to understand.
Totally.
But on Rogan, I was
totally.
We have kindergarten to teach you to pull it. Most 70% of soldiers weren't pulling the trigger in all the wars. 70%. They were missing on purpose.
Right.
So that's why we have the Prussian system of kindergarten that the Rockefellers and Carnegie's got to fuck with. And that's to get you out of away from mommy when you're 5. But now they push pre-K because it's not working well enough. We got to get the state's dick in your kid's brain away from mommy and daddy.
I'm laughing because I'm too old to cry. I
completely
agree with it. They took me in grade school, took away my autonomy. I was a hyperactive kid. I was highly intelligent. When a subject matter, got my rocks off, I was terrible at math. I should have went to one of those Montessori. No, I should have. My parents had money. They should have put me in a Montessori school where people with kids with ADD and, could kind of find themselves. And
Weren't
what did
gay?
I get? I got, you're a bad kid because you can't fucking add. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, come on.
I got that dyscalculia.
Come on, man.
That was my weakness, was that. But I was in that gifted and talented education, and it was called Gateway in the South. And I think in North Carolina it was called Gateway, and I think in Jersey it was called Gifted and Talented. Nobody ever said Gate, but that's what it is. A lot of people were in that. And I asked my friends about it. It's real weird. That was a Pentagon-sponsored thing. A lot of variation because a lot of private contractors, of course. I don't remember going to Mars or no shit like that.
Right.
But the variety of what people remember from it is very stunning to me. A lot of people have crazy different things they've told me about that. That's
interesting.
Like my friend Brooke, I brought up already, but she was they put them in a hot air balloon basket in a dark room, and they'd watch Italy like they're floating. And that was probably remote viewing. That's probably what that's for, some kind of remote viewing thing. But I wouldn't have known that when she told me.
Right.
Now, so your thing, it's not your thing, but when you mentioned that interview, I'm like, yo, I've seen that fucking alien before in that other picture. And then I saw that I saw this all separate.
Yeah.
Okay? So I'm like, okay, how many puppets? How much is Stan Winston doing if they're faking it? Like,
exactly.
One puppet? Why do you have different? But it could be, look, I don't rule that out at all, but I know they're able to do cloning since the 70s. Okay. I know that they can gene splice and make chimeras anytime they want. COG, continuity of government, which is what lets them, when they Iran-Contra, they use that doomsday network to do it.
Right. Yep.
Congress can't look. And if you watch the hearings, whenever COG comes up, Daniel Inhofe was the one I saw on in the Ollie North hearings. But recently, when that Cheadle dipshit was, Trump got shot in the ear, and Republican who he wasn't wrong, but he was bloviating quite a bit about it. Somebody is because she was making an excuse of COG, and he cut her off with a long speech. She's the one from COG that took Cheney in the bunker when they had to shoot down that plane on fake 9/11.
9/11.
That they did. So then she's promoted. Robert Mueller, you know how he became head of the FBI? Well, I think, in my opinion, he covered up Isaac Asimov's son's thing in California. Isaac Asimov's son was the largest CP distributor in the history of the state of California ever caught, the son of Isaac Asimov. And so people thought he was going to get federal charge. Like the state didn't go to it because they thought the feds, and Robert Mueller, the attorney general, didn't go anywhere with it. And then he became the head of the FBI.
Payback, right?
So
it's called log rolling, ladies and gentlemen, in Washington, D.C. You do me a favor, I'll do you a favor, and on and on we go. And we do the Potomac two-step together.
Remember when Madison Cawthorn was there for a minute, the wheelchair guy, and he said he couldn't believe people he'd looked up to in the party offered him coke and orgies.
Oh yeah.
And even Dave Chappelle, who's pretty astute on a lot of things, was like, no one's inviting a wheelchair guy. What? First of all, his mouth works fine, and Lindsey Graham's in Congress. So guess what? I bet they.
You're in Washington D.C. You're away from your wife or her husband because there's so many women in Congress. You're making a 6-figure salary. Your spouse is back home. You're not going to see your spouse for 3 weeks. I mean, it's high school. When they're done debating in the floor of Congress, I'm not telling anything new to people out there. They realize that now. Right. It's a joke.
It should dawn on you when nothing you've ever voted for happens how you wanted it to vote for.
Exactly. I remember my mom and my grandfather in like 73 were talking loudly in my grandfather's kitchen in Upper Michigan, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, when my mother was born. And my mom's like, Dad, what are these politicians? Are they being blackmailed? Do people have pictures of them? Yes. Yeah, 45 years later, I can look at my mom who's died. I can look at the world and say, yes. That's why we're so fucked up. That's why the country is 33 trillion in debt. Because yes, everyone is compromised. 33 trillion. You can't balance a budget? 33 trillion? Do we need a 17th aircraft carrier group? Really?
No, we need a central bank digital currency. We
have 5 Ohio-class ballistic submarines that can destroy the world 7 times over. Mm-hmm. 5 Ohio-class ballistic submarines that can destroy with Tomahawk cruise missiles 7 times over. Do we need a 17th aircraft carrier strike force? I'm sorry. I mean,
shouldn't Israel have it? Shouldn't Ukraine have it? Shouldn't everybody but us have a thing?
We could have we don't want the people of America to be content and feel safe and fed and happy. And we might differ about this, that, and the other, but everyone's making money and the government's balanced budget and our taxes are nil. And it's like we don't want that. It's because then it's like we're afraid to be happy. I don't know why I think that, but that's the way I think.
The plan is what you're saying. Most people do want that, but the plan has been for quite some time to demolish that. So we could get quicker. So they're already showing you the Greater America Project map with Greenland, and Venezuela.
Right.
So, I mean, I thought Greater Israel was fucked up, and of course, there's a Greater America plan to go with it. And all these people that you think could be against each other, Elon's Nazi grandpa and Zionist. Well, I thought you guys were no. They all got this plan, and Kissinger's another guy can get along real well with Nazis after the war. For being being a Jewish guy, it's a real
who got a lot of tail back in the day for being a fat guy, by the way.
Yeah. So thanks to this mitzvah of them all getting along, the idea is to consolidate the whole goddamn thing.
I mean,
they blame you, dude. They blame everybody wants peace. Here's why what I see through immediately with any alien shit. The aliens said, we better stop with our wars. Yo, assholes, everybody voted to stop and they're not stopping. So what's this we shit? I didn't do none of that.
Right.
The leaders do it. Then they go to you and they go, oh, look what you did because you farted too much and you drove far. But I didn't shed blood like that, but they put it on you. And then somehow the advanced Anunnakis come and they go, oh, you're so bad. You guys are bad. You're from Mars. You're not even from here.
I'm not saying this I'm not patting myself on the back. I accidentally ran for president for the Libertarian Party in Iowa in 2022. They put my name on the list. I came in second. I am not bragging. I'm just saying I think this should hold water, what I'm about to say. Am I nuts? Seriously, am I crazy to believe that the way you stay in power is to be the most, to be a leader where your people are fed, they're happy, they're entertained, they're confident? It's kind of like the Middle East oil philosophy. Share the money, share the wealth. Everyone's got money, everyone's fed, everyone's healthy, no one's complaining. Instead of that, we have let ourselves devolve into this tribal warfare over. We've had democracy in this country for 250 years. Can we not get it fucking right? What do we have Congress for? Why are we still debating basic functions of government? It blows my mind. And globally, I would try and make every country in the world as economically viable and vibrant as I possibly could. So their culture is fed and happy and nurtured and not going into tribal welfare and looking at why is Jon Stewart so fat and happy in America and I want that. I thank God I don't get it anymore. And it's maybe just turn it off. I don't give a shit anymore. I really because I can't figure it out.
Here's what they're gonna do. Nobody has to go do anything crazy either. By the way, that 60s style protest, everybody. I mean, the CIA came up with that bag.
It's the same. Oh my God! I'm so glad I'm on. Thank you.
60s.
It's the same rule, same playbook. They just flip a page.
And when you hear a vague message,
you heard about the hippie. The hippie culture was CIA created it.
We might as well be China because all the generals' kids run shit here.
Right. So, oh God, so true.
All you got to do is not do left and right bullshit. You got to not. Dude, I'm watching people fucking when you find out they like eat the kids and then it's like, hey, it's Super Bowl. Are you gonna watch Bad Gay Bunny or Kid Pedo Rock?
Right.
And you could see the sheep, you could see him herding you into your dumb shithead pen again.
Right.
You go
holding their phones up. Like I want to see your bad iPhone video of Bad Bunny when I can watch it for 4K on YouTube. I mean
probably a reference to adrenochrome, the white rabbit, which has molecules that look like bunny ears. And then you got Kid Rock, who was a rich kid, piece of shit, that openly sang about what a pedo is. Openly sang. Also had a great song called "I Am the Bull God." Remember that song?
No.
Like, Mr. TPUSA Christian
Oh my
man.
God.
Yeah. So I don't know. Again, I can't say this enough to people that are Christians. All the shit you see in America associated with Christianity is bullshit. I don't know what to tell you. None of that's okay. You can't go kill people. You can't go blow up a Christian for your country. Christ is supposed to transcend all that. So nobody's a Christian. There's like 5 of them, dude. There's 5 of them. They're like unicorns.
Right.
They're delightful.
Well, I am done with religion. I am spiritual. I'm a very spiritual person, and I follow the teachings of a carpenter from Judea, and I'm very spiritual, and it's the happiest I've ever been in my life. But religion, I'm done.
Well,
I've been done for 10 years with organized religion. I'm done. Yeah.
I got no forgiveness for none of these people. I want them in woodshed. See, if I was Christian, also, I have no patience for people that don't know all this shit that I already know that I should have. But I don't. I'm so sick of someone saying something brain dead to me that I explode like a non-Christian. So I'm in
right there with you. Right there with you.
That I always have to explain to a fucking Christian
what's
in their own goddamn book that I'm not. Yeah. It still makes. I'm going. Let me read the chat.
Well, it's Catholics laughing at you that there's aliens but they believe a man lived in the whale of a belly. And I'm not making fun of the Bible. I'm just saying, like, there are outlandish stories in the Bible that are now being proved true, and you don't believe in another form of life in the universe. You're it. The best we can do is George Bush. That's the best the universe can do. I mean, come on, folks. Jesus.
Not to quote the great Mike deGrasse Tyson or Neil deGrasse Tyson on Joe Rogan. He said a thing about colonization of the New World, which I always thought was an interesting point, because he said if people from Europe hadn't gone over there, it wouldn't take super long for us to speciate instead of all being humans.
Right.
Speciate. So with that principle in mind, think of the same human on another planet, and all of a sudden they're aliens when you see them again.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't think there is I think calling anything intelligence human, I think there's one big block of intelligence that a hunk goes into you and somebody else and whatever. And the labels are completely wrong that everybody uses. But I mean, you got to use them, because what else can you? All right, let me just read this. Hemorrhoid hurts only $8 in total today. Kurp, got to make it count. Is that 8? I thought you were British because how you spelled hemorrhoids. We got Dirt by Kurp. You're welcome. Angry Laundromat. Marty for life. You should make a show like Punked, where you ambush a lying protected public figure like Noam Chomsky and call them out. You'd be in Greenland in a year. They don't tolerate that. I don't know if you know that. I've worked on Sacha Cohen's show, The Pranks, and it's you have to do an elaborate intel operation to prank people if you want to do something like that.
I believe that.
Now I know how CIA does it. There's no way Sacha don't do intel work based on what we did just for pranks. There's no way.
Right.
It was a fun show. Video is fake. Screen record it. Take it in an image editing program. Turn the brightness. And you can see it was done with software. Are you talking about the alien interrogation? Can I? I don't know enough about software. That's the other thing. But it
was 1996. There was no CGI that they. It was. If anything, it was a very carefully crafted, very expensive puppet. Which again, as Chris Ramsey said at Area 52, anybody that looks into this Jon Stewart's investigation, there's one thing you can clearly say: this was not done for money, to make money.
Right.
So.
That's right.
So why was it done if it was a hoax? Interesting.
No, dude, the people say it's dumb shit. There's pictures of Tupac alive from around the same time.
Yeah.
And of course at the time I was like, he's not alive. But they didn't have CGI to fake the pictures. And you look at pictures like that's him. But I'm just like, I don't feel like believing it. So I'm gonna ignore it. I pre-ordered the Derp shirt when they ship. Pretty soon, I think. Right, Mark?
Yeah, I'm out today.
Oh, okay. Nice.
They checked their
syrup. Okay. I was in the Gifted Kids program. I remember it was a dark room and strobe flashing drugs, then skull and bones rapidly on a screen. You went to a
come on. Is that one of your listener viewers?
Yeah. A bunch of people have seen it.
Shit.
Did you see TPUSA when Jack Posobiec, former Navy Intel? By the way, DNI, as you mentioned in the video, nobody was talking about DNI. You're exactly right about that.
Thank you.
So So fucking Posobiec, that fake, is Navy intel, just like Bob Woodward was Navy intel.
Bob Woodward, nobody knew. Navy intel.
Never did good work again after that one story.
No.
Oh, now I get it.
Well, they say the CIA set up Nixon, so you know.
I believe it 100% because, it's not. See, here's how people are trained. Oh, you like Nixon? No, I'm saying it's like Game of Thrones with these fucking people. They got all, or Dune. They've got plans within plans. There's not. Even though they're unified that they're a different species than you, the chump at home that votes like an idiot, they still kill each other. They're eugenicists. You notice how we have the Olympics still for some reason?
For some
eugenics festival to pagan gods. Hey, I thought the Olympic ceremony was too demonic. You did? Why were you watching the Olympics, you fucking idiot?
Right. And why is there any reference to anything with religion or demons or devil? And
why is there Cyrus's cock in the Capitol?
Yeah, I mean, come on.
A Christian place. That's why. It's Atlantic. Okay, sorry. I was going to give. Okay. I'm hearing weird stories about cloning facilities in Appleton, Wisconsin.
Whoa. I'm in Appleton every Monday. Come on. Spit it out.
From Instagram guy Bloth Archive. Bloth? That's quite a name.
This person needs to email me when I give my email out at the end of this show.
Yeah,
I'm in Appleton. I'm for my corporate job. I am in Appleton, Wisconsin every single Monday. You are going to email me and we're going to talk.
Yo, you know, I mean, I get some good comments from people that'll drop some crazy bombs. Last episode, they brought up Gail Pooley. Now, I don't know if you heard of this super abundance guy.
No.
Of course, he's a Mormon. Of course, he'd be. But J.R. Sweet, I recommend J.R. Sweet's book to everybody. Look up J.R. Sweet, MormonMonarch.org is his website. Now, I read this first before I knew Gail Pooley was a guy doing shit and walking around. Gail Pooley and Jordan Peterson are good pals. So that explains a lot to me, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, a great tried sneaking in my back barn door once. Whitley? I scared the hell out of him. He didn't know South Park warned me. Yeah, I would push their big head down. I'd be like, come on, harvest some semen. That's what you want, right? You big-headed bitch. I would turn it around and take the power back. They got a little slit mouth. I would just fucking... Okay. I just read in the anti-Semitic... the anti-Semitic Jerusalem Post. Boy, the Jerusalem Post, I must say... But you know, Israeli news, if you're just wondering what's going on, Israeli news is remarkably forthcoming about Israel. Not like American news. American news is slop for imbeciles. Read the Israeli news. It's amazing. About a holiday log bomar where Israelis throw puppies in bonfires. It focuses on the air pollution. Okay, I'm going to follow up on that.
Okay.
Because that's a very strange thing. But I'm going to follow up because that's just so out there that I have to know what the fuck you're talking about. Okay. By the way, don't blame the Jews. Anybody out there saying that? Now that we know Epstein was behind 4chan and Groypers. So Nick Fuentes, as it was obvious, unless you're a moron, was a controlled opposition. And that's why he says stupid, evil, racist shit instead of being very specific about the problems. That's why he does that. Idiot. Who am I talking to? All right. Blue beam equals blue light. Blue light may promote early puberty. Puberty equals a spiritual event. Well, can I tell you?
I've heard that. Yeah, blue light.
Didn't promote shit for me. You would have thought I was a kid in the 8th grade. Then one day, sophomore year, I just grew to my full height. It was fucking insane. And I've walked like an
amazing.
I move like 2 kids in a long trench coat trying to sneak into a dirty movie with that amount of grace. My whole life. Okay. My fucking feet look like forearms. Okay. You won't see Justice of Epstein, but you will see elite rotations with a new generation who didn't get to party and profit from it, and they refuse to be left holding the bet. That's a very good way to put it, Daniel Hall 3895.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, so all that vicious like Montauk programming that Stranger Things waters down, but they'll, when they have the gay kid and he's got a thing in his mouth and they're simulating a bizarro sex act, which is what they did at Montauk. They don't really need to do that. They have the tech now that they can do it, and you're seeing it. You don't think it's weird? Nobody can remember nothing? You're seeing it now. They're using it on you all the time, and it's all around you, and it's mundane. It's not.
I agree with that.
Ketchup is boys, mustard is girls, and I heard also.
What is grape juice?
That boys go to Venus to get their penis. Okay, wait. What is grape juice? I don't know. I don't like the idea of shrimp in the aquarium. Every part of it is so bad that I'm astonished by people Now I can see people don't want to look into it because it's upsetting, but
Exactly.
this is bigger than Watergate got. This is the biggest thing that has ever been released about America,
and it's not going away. If there's any intel people watching this, first of all, I'm almost done with the alien interview investigation. So thank you for not killing me, seriously. And it was a fun, friendly war, and it's over now. But yeah, I'm here to tell you this is not going away. This Epstein story is not. You are not going to distract us. The only possibility of it going away is if you have the disclosure of aliens. And I don't think that's going to last long. People are going to still, you don't get around and get away with dead children, sexually raped children. The people are not going to let it go away without retribution.
Are the aliens cool with it? I don't understand these aliens that are concerned for the environment, but I've never heard them say anything about
they're certainly not right. They're certainly not. Well, they've got allegedly there is a code rule of non-intervention, but they do intervene.
Really? Except you can eat people's kids.
You can eat people's kids. You can you can take cows' hemoglobin and do things with it. You can turn nuclear sites on and off. You are interfering.
Yeah. You know what the 9
I mean,
is?
do whatever you want to do, but I mean, you don't say that you can't interfere. You are interfering.
You know, heard of the 9, right?
In what context?
Well, it pops up all the time. Dr. Puharich and then Gene Roddenberry in a seance contacted the 9. It's in a video game called Test of the 9. It pops up a lot about these observing being. Well, read Dissipation of the Darkness. It's free. You can get it for free online. Mark Windows, turn me on to it. It's a guy explaining the origin of Masons, which is not what you've heard. He claims that it's from 43 AD. Herod Agrippa, the one who died being eaten by worms and axe while he was boasting. Turns out historically he was good friends with Caligula, real close with Caligula, and sigil. He liked sigil magic, and he formed a secret society because Christianity was spreading so quickly. I view it as populism. They hate populism because the message is like, instead of this bullshit, why don't you look at your lizard leaders? And they don't like that, so they had to counteract it. And we're Babylonian black magicians, Agrippa, the whole family are pieces. That's why they had the 3 wise men hunting down Christ to kill him. The Magi were not the good guys. They're being guided to go. These people do astrology wars at each other. That's why they got to change your birth dates. Because if you're in a good enough family with this dark shit, you know that someone's going to be born that's going to fuck with your plan. It's not, this is a repeating theme. Okay. So they fucking, Herod Agrippa, he formed a group based on Solomon's bullshit temple, because the Star of David, that's not from the Bible. The Magi David, that's the seal of Solomon. That's magic shit. And it's from Czechoslovakia or something, or Bulgaria when they first got that from the king. Because that's Kabbalah shit. That's what he was, a Babylonian Kabbalist or something. And so they formed a secret society called the Masons, and they called themselves the mysterious force to counteract this Christian shit that was taking over. Because keep in mind, this is still a Jewish sect, right? It wasn't, people are looking at like how Christianity now. And he called their group the 9. He called their group the 9. 1825, the 9. So my buddy Nathaniel Gillis, if you watch Steve Mera, they talk about Nathaniel Gillis has a book coming out about necronetics or something about, he thinks there's a group of necromancers because historically the implant shit and the sigil shit goes back a long way. And it's a way of compressing an entity, its intent. So, you got your 3-part soul, right? So I got the sigil. I get you to focus on that. I'm just now a plasma blob behind you, but I could hijack your senses to look like whatever. And if you've been groomed by movies and TV, I have a pattern I can use to hijack your senses to make you see what I want. And you're looking at the sigil, and I just don't have the chariot. I need your body. And that's why they're encouraging people to do seances and see. It's the same bullshit from the 1800s. Yeah. Again, I'm not saying demons or aliens. I think it might be time to come up with new words for stuff myself.
Right.
Happy Black History Month. Thank you. Dr. Delbert Blair talked about a Sphinx on Mars. That's why I stopped believing in aliens, because there's a million aliens, but no black ones. There's a race called, I'm not making it up, look it up, Yaphet Kotto, the actor, says he was abducted by the tall blacks. Now, look, when you read it, you're going to be like, what the fuck? Okay, no black ones in the entire universe. No, there are, but their disguise was trying to look black because they... Anyway, good point. Watch Serious Times Media. Okay. My loosh has been activated. I hope I didn't traumatize you, because that's how you activate it. You ever see TA blah, blah, blah with Al Borealis? He brought receipts detailing the post-war Nazi networks, talked about the spider, D. spina, maybe related to the octopus in his research. No, I will definitely look that up. I'm all into COG because that's the big secret one. That's what's under Denver Airport, the future capital if there's a nuclear war. Liberal, 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 happy, fun, LA, LA, LA. Goddess Abramovic. Hey, Kurp, saw Jacob's Ladder.
Great movie.
Yeah.
If that's what she's talking about.
When the guy said demons seek to bring you deeper into hell, I wonder if the drug talked about makes you poorly disembodied and perceive. Yes, so that drug, they were testing Benadryl, the worst trip there is, those pink Benadryl pills, which Cosby was drugging people with. Arsenal, Edgewood Arsenal. They tested on American soldiers a distilled version of that awful drug so that these guys are peaking on a Benadryl trip. Have you ever read Erowid Vault accounts where people said they're doing it and all the other druggies are like, please stop doing this.
Yeah.
Why would you take more? Causes huge damage. These guys for 2 weeks tripped at the height of Benadryl. So that's the hat man, the guy in the black hat. And Mark, my Nephilim producer, informed me that is Papa Legba from Vodon, is a all black with the hat. That's an entity seen in a lot of shit. And I didn't know until Mark, my producer Nephilim, Mark told me. Okay, anime makes you gay, but Akira, Ghost in the Shell, and Full Metal Alchemist are worth watching, all touching on transhuman. Okay, Akira, I've never stayed awake through once, even though I like the art and all that. I used to like Fist of the North Star and Ninja Scroll. But white guys, you can't be watching anime no more because you're putting something in it. You're going to transition. Black guys, you can watch it, but you will turn white. That's the facts. Let's see. Hey, Kurp, I got to go. I added a new medallion to the Bullet Crown. Oh, yeah. Contact me if you want to make any changes. I got to figure out how to contact you, Drew Dizzo. At Drew Dizzo. I got to write that down. Okay. You know the Moonies? Reverend Sun Young Moon's
Sure. Son? There was a branch of it in Chicago.
Okay. Well, his son started a gun-based church. But he's of course. And he has a bullet crown and a camouflage suit jacket and duck waders. And anyway, next time when I go on Danny Jones, I'm gonna be wearing I'm gonna wear that exact outfit.
Okay. You got to get me on Danny Jones. I've been trying to get on his show forever. If he had Bart Sabrella on, he certainly have Jon Stewart on. I have way more evidence and a better investigation.
Oh, I'll ask him.
A hoax moon launch. I've emailed him a couple of times.
Look at the Brotherhood. Their secret is every human brain transmits, receives energy like a radio tire, co-creative. Yeah, that's what I think. I think it's not just you manifest whatever. There's a lot of people here. It's a little bit more democratic in that. We all have a consensus reality. That's why people have to buy like a media to have a plane of cause.
Okay.
Right? So it's occultic to just have a newspaper if you're inclined that way, because now you can put your intent into the newspaper, and in the plane of effect, you can have a war. Okay. Kurp, when I see the others wearing my great-grandma's face when I die, how do I get the other way and take the other option? I don't know, because I'm what's called profane and a Cowan, meaning I just barge into these secret people's stupid shit and tell everybody what I find. So I have not been initiated, unless you count life, which I do. Okay. Grew up in gifted and talented. ET and AI narratives cover up our own innate abilities. I think there's a lot of series. I think, like I said, somebody's rerun shit a few times. And, the Bible they give you to me is like the Epstein binder. They legally have to give you enough of it to get the idea, but they cut a lot out because they're fucking pricks. And if you
totally agree with that,
your diligence to get whatever's valuable out of it, because you're run by, I don't know, lizards.
There's like 10 missing gospels that should have been in the Bible. So, I mean, come on.
Okay. Daily Mind Virus. How much does Derp? I can't read that. My eyes aren't good. I'm old. I don't understand what you did. Kurt, you remember tangrams from Gifted? Tangrams, the plastic shapes you had to fit together to make a square in a certain time. Kinda.
I don't remember that.
I haven't thought of that in a long time. But kinda. All right, I can't dwell on it. It gets creepy when I do. No, don't call an Australian a Briton Kurp. Well, you tell that queen to go fuck herself then and be a man, Australia. Okay. Gave up your guns the first mass shooting. You fell for it the first time, Australia. I know you get health care, so that's why you. Okay. True. How do you feel about blood transfusions when medically needed? Look, I don't have the same Jehovah's Witness. Jehovah's Witnesses couldn't take those, but I know 9 times out of 10, they don't need to give you blood. They have non-blood. There's a whole hospital in New York, specifically because of Jehovah's Witnesses, that could operate without blood in the 90s. And keep in mind, Ryan White, the famous kid that got AIDS from blood. Someone in our congregation had AIDS from a blood transfusion. The blood supply was tainted. Now, here's the bad news. All the plasma-based medication that people take, if you look it up, most of us are cannibals by default because 80% of the blood supply goes to make big pharma pills out of human products. Did you know that? Yeah, gross. Epstein from Epstein to Mandelson, looking for work for DiCaprio outside the U.S. That's probably as a man whore. That's what actors are. They use them as whores. You don't even tell you. Kurt, do you come out to Hawaii to do shows? I would love to go to Hawaii. My cousin's out there. I went to Kauai once, but I want to go do the one Jimmy did. JD's for you. I was in PEP in Park Forest. PEP. It was weird, man. It was clear we were being tested. I typed slow, but we made a movie about an alien planet, Oobleck. Weird. I don't know what PEP is. You ever hear that?
No.
Kurt, my derp, you're too famous to be contacted. You want to reach about Daryl James? I got to get him on because that's one of the first SSP stories I saw that caught my interest because usually they're so stupid. And his is bizarre. It's like the Star Trek mirror universe where they're all like Nazis and have goatees. I'm skeptical. Why release the files? It's the cover-up. There's no arrests. The files are the cover-up. That's what the intention is. Now, as far as why redact them, this is what I learned just playing at Arlington Draft House in D.C. because I made a bad joke. I go, oh, I know you guys had a hard day's work, have you, redacting Epstein files? And so like 4 people laughed really hard on the first show because they did. So I was like, why bother doing that? Why not just Xerox copy some black squares 1,000,000 times and be like, fuck you here? Because Washington runs on these jobs. The government shut down. It's like getting side work as a fucking paralegal. People need work. They're all employed by the government. So that's a big job. And that's why it's not getting done so good. But the patronage must continue. So that's why they have to individually go and it's easy to fuck up. That's why. Didn't even occur to me till I went there and did that show. Watch Howard Stern interview with Martine Rothblatt. Oh my, I didn't know he interviewed her. I'm going to. Yeah, that's where all the trans, that and the Pritzkers, Martine Rothblatt, inventor of Sirius Satellite Radio, who has a book called Transgenics. So it's combining transgender and eugenics to rehab. That sounds good, right?
What could go wrong? What could go wrong?
Nothing. Stop being a conspiracy guy, John. Have you seen Larry Charles' Dangerous World of Comedy? He interviews comedians. One was General Butt Naked. Yo, I know I met him working for Sacha Baron Cohen on Who is America, but I mailed him on Twitter because I have a lot of questions I want to ask him. I'm trying to get him. Full Metal Alchemist is a revelation of the method. Yes, it is. A lot of Japanese shit. I don't know why. They have studied this. Metal Gear, those games. That Japanese guy is like a weird Tom Clancy Japanese guy. Voice to Skull, I saw in Metal Gear first. Metal Gear on PlayStation 1. I forgot. That's where I first heard of it. That's in the Tall Whites lore. And they said the Tall Whites weren't telepathic. They had a thing that looked like a headset that they could project it in. They already have mind reading. Your phone might have read your mind. That people are saying it. I know they already have the tech. They've said it at WEF.
I totally believe it.
I have to save the articles to show people because it sounds like I'm making it up, but I'm not. I was in a grade school, remember, breathable water and zero gravity room. Oh, that's cool. Also being forced to drink milk. That's not cool. Last person in the cafe, I think they nerfed a lot of us. That's probably very true, yes. Check out C.S. Lewis's book about a hideous strength. Not sure if you like the entirety of it, but there's some great lines centered on a fictional organization. I am going to look that up. That guy's part of the thing, and he's probably divulging something. I was a repo bond trader at Bear Stearns during the financial crisis.
Whoa.
Liquid funding was the last hedge fund transfer for Bear to JPM. Bear was bailed out to cover Epstein. He was the president of Liquid. See, this is what I'm talking about. My comments. I got some good shit in here.
Good shit.
I have to go back to them later, the recording. Buzzed Metzger, please watch Sabrina Wallace if you haven't. Worth looking into it. Okay, I will. They found an email about growing trumpets in J.E.'s nursery, reference to Angela's trumpet, scopolamine scopolamine, the thing that Colombian hookers put on their nipples that our CIA, of course, wouldn't have been using for years on people. Okay, I remember bringing on Jimmy's show. Trump was indebted by the billions in the 90s and bailed out by Rothschild's Corp. You all brush it off. Can you explain where I was wrong? I don't remember any of that.
I don't either.
John may have fed me scopolamine in my astronaut mask. Kurp, what do you do? Kurp, love what you do? I'm curious. Where do you stand on Dr. Stephen Greer? I don't care who you work for. I want to just get data off you and I'll get what I want. You can lie to me, motherfucker. It don't matter. See, that's why John's right about the files. The ideal thing is not to say nothing. but because they had to say something, that's a problem because you can't put it back. So when they said UAPs are real from saying they're not real at all, that's setting the thing in motion.
Yep.
They want to try to control it, but it's like an avalanche. It's just like learning about this shit. I didn't psychically down. I honest to God, I read a couple of books and watched a couple of videos while I took a shit. I'm not a scholar and I'm not very smart. You could find all this shit, and it's like an avalanche once you start picking at it. Right. And then that's why I was glad to get John on, because I remember when people say things that stick out, the little pieces of them, and I have them to bounce off of. That's all you need. That's what an analyst does. That's all they're doing. And in Gate, they were looking for people who can synthesize seemingly unrelated events, which that's how I do jokes. Grape Soda was referring to black kids on the island. Yeah, I gather.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to say it, but you know.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, believe it or not, when they said we don't like the black shrimp, I suspect. I just suspect that might be. Okay, have you seen that River Phoenix Ethan Hawke's movie Explorers? Yes, as a kid. Obsessed with it as a kid. Fucking obsessed with it. And Wolfgang, their friend, is the one that uses the tech that they've been downloading from aliens to make their ship. Yeah, real gross looking back now, right? What do you think happened on that set? I bet it wasn't good. Have you guys read Valis? Yes, I read a lot of Philip K. Dick, and he probably was like, you have to understand, Monarch is so big, and there's so much. Like, if John was in it, he probably wouldn't be talking to me. Like, it'd be too much.
I am not with Intel. I am not in any programs. I made that specific quite clear. Yeah, I am not. I am not being handled by an official 3-letter agency. Trust me. There's no ACH every 2 weeks going into my checking account, I can assure you.
John, thank you for saying through my brutal super chats. I thought we got some good information out of it. Thanks for doing my show. I hope you come back, man, because I really appreciate it. I
thank you for having me. It's been very interesting, and I've had a lot of fun, and I've heard a lot of interesting stuff that I'm going to explore, and I appreciate you having me on, and thank you to all your listeners and viewers. I appreciate it.
All right, guys. That's it. You just got derped.